This is 5 on your side at 10. Focused on you.
However it happened, it shouldn't have happened. Wish it never did.
Tonight, a community shattered after 2 children die in a house fire in Cahokia Heights. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson. Tonight, we're learning more about the situation that cost a young brother and sister their lives this afternoon. 5 on your side's Brett Solomon briefly spoke with the children's mother about the tragedy.
I just want my babies back. Those words from a mother I just spoke with who lost her 2 children inside of that house fire. Here she is walking away from the home she moved into just last year. Too shaken up to speak on camera, that mother tells me she was taking a shower when she came out to smoke. She says she yelled for her children to come out. When one responded, quote, "I can't, Mommy. It's too hot."
And the mom was like, my baby's in there, my baby's in there.
That's when Jewel Dickerson says he ran across the street to help. It was just after 2 Friday afternoon.
It was a lot of smoke, it was a lot. So to take my shirt off, before it got deeper, when I took my shirt off, that's when it started, like, coming down. Like I said, I tried, but it didn't work. I couldn't do nothing.
Firefighters with multiple agencies arriving, putting out the flames within 20 minutes. They were able to rescue a 4-year-old girl named Charlie and take her to the hospital. The 4-year-old boy named Chad had already died. Charlie died at the hospital.
Anytime we lose somebody in a house fire, it's tough, but when it's children this young, it hits hard. The guys are definitely taking this one a little hard this evening.
Investigators believe the fire may have started in the bedroom where one of the children died. The mother tells me she questions if her boy got a hold of a lighter and possibly set a curtain on fire.
However it happened, it shouldn't have happened. Wish it never did. And kids' life is gone.
Investigators now working to figure out exactly how this fire started. In Cahokia Heights, Brett Solomon, 5 on your side.
State police are helping detectives with Cahokia Heights with the investigation. Look for updates on air, on KSDK.com, or the 5 on your side app. Right now, we're working to learn more about a body found in Velasquez Park in Balwin. Police say someone found the body around 2:30 this afternoon while fishing in the lower pond. Investigators tell us it had been there for a while and there's no danger to the public. The cause of the death is being investigated. We'll update this story on air, online, and the 5 on your side app when we get more information. Tonight, the city of St. Louis is pushing for safer streets. Mayor Tashara Jones wants the Board of Aldermen to pass the Automated Traffic Enforcement Act, which may lead to red light and speed cameras being installed on city streets. The mayor says the bill would hold dangerous drivers accountable. But the Board of Aldermen president wants to hear from the public before making a final decision.
And that is why we will not compromise on saying that there is no oversight in this and that the community will not have a voice in this process, because we know that at the end of the day, it's community that can be negatively impacted if these technologies are not employed in the correct way.
Last year, the city reported 228 crashes involving pedestrians that led to dozens of injuries and 8 deaths. Earlier this month, a mother and daughter were killed while leaving the Drake concert at Enterprise Center. Tonight, we're hearing from family members of victims in a crash that killed 4 people in St. Louis. This comes one day after the driver who killed them was sentenced to 10 years in prison as part of a plea deal. Prosecutors say last February, Cedric Dixon sped down Forest Park Parkway and ran a red light before slamming into an SUV near South Grand. Corntrail McKinley and 3 of his friends died. 4 others were hurt. Corntrail's mother calls Dixon's sentence a slap in the face and no justice for the victims and their loved ones.
He cooperated. He turned himself in. He denied the bond hearing. He did this. He played the system. He played right into their hands. And the only thing it shows me, just like the night of this horrible, them kids' lives don't mean nothing. They didn't mean nothing that night. And it didn't mean nothing now.
In court Thursday, the family says Dixon did not apologize, but his lawyer says his client is remorseful and offered to take the maximum amount of punishment for involuntary manslaughter under the plea deal. Tonight, new legislation has been filed aimed at improving the nursing home industry in Missouri. It comes after Northview Village closed down last December. Representative Crystal Quade's bill proposes minimum staffing requirements and regular inspections from health officials. It also will prevent nursing home ownership transfers to happen without proper licensing. But Quade says more still needs to be done.
What this legislation does is about the ownership and holding folks accountable and making sure that the staffing and the facilities that are open are held to a level that is acceptable. This is not enough. This is one piece of a very large puzzle that we as lawmakers need to be diving into.
Currently holding nursing home owners up to financial scrutiny is not on the legislation. Quaid says she wants lawmakers to address this issue as soon as possible. A recent ruling from the Alabama Supreme Court regarding frozen embryos has people concerned about the future of IVF treatments. Ariane Detil from our National Verified team is here to sort fact from fiction.
On February 16th, the Alabama Supreme Court ruled that frozen embryos can now be considered children under state law, leading to a lot of confusion about the future of IVF. Using these sources, we have verified answers to some of the top questions on how the Alabama Supreme Court ruling impacts IVF treatments in the state. First up, does the ruling make IVF illegal in Alabama? We can verify no. There is nothing in the ruling that makes IVF treatment illegal in Alabama, and both of our sources agree. But Katie O'Connor, Director of Federal Abortion Policy at the National Women's Law Center, added that the ruling does contribute to a climate of uncertainty among doctors and patients, and will inevitably lead to many or all providers to stop providing this care in Alabama for fear of legal consequences. Next up, have any Alabama clinics paused IVF treatment after the ruling? We can verify that yes, at least 3 clinics in the state, including the Center for Reproductive Medicine at Mobile Infirmary in Alabama, which is named in the lawsuit, and UAB, the University of Alabama at Birmingham's Division of Reproductive Endocrinology and Infertility, have announced they are pausing IVF treatment. And finally, question 3. Does the Alabama Supreme Court ruling impose criminal penalties? That answer is no. The state Supreme Court ruling is focused on an Alabama law that imposes civil penalties, not criminal, according to law professor Jill Lenz and a spokesperson for the Center for Reproductive Rights. While the ruling that embryos are considered children only applies to the state's wrongful death statute, the Center for Reproductive Rights said it's unclear how that logic might be extended in the future to apply to other criminal laws. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Detil.
Today, the Alabama Attorney General's office released a statement saying he has, quote, no intention of using the recent Alabama Supreme Court decision as a basis for prosecuting IVF families or providers. Have something you want us to verify? Email verify@ksdk.com. They've been supporting local restaurants, fashion, and now music. A look at the local artists City SC is collabing with to kick off the season.
And we have had some good weather for that first game on Tuesday and now for tomorrow night's official opening of the season, I suppose. We'll talk more about that, maybe even a little bit about skiing in just a few minutes.
City SC opens the regular season tomorrow at City Park. The soccer club is kicking it off with some homegrown stars. Local rapper, singer, and songwriter Smino is headlining the team's first block party at Lou Fuse Plaza at 4 o'clock. Smino and City will also collaborate on a new program to amplify and support emerging local artists. City SC hosts Real Salt Lake at 7 o'clock at City Park. Hit the slopes while you can. Today, Hidden Valley Ski Resort announced that they're closing down Sunday. And to round out the season, they're doing a few special events this weekend. Tonight, the slopes are staying open until midnight. And you can see people are there right now getting in some last-minute skiing. On Sunday, they're hosting a spring fling party starting at 2 o'clock. Find a full list of events on their website. Speaking of spring, it's just around the corner, Scott. Didn't need a jacket today.
Yeah, a little bit of a breeze. That breeze is going to bring in some cooler air overnight. And tomorrow is actually going to be a typical February day. I mean, what's that? We haven't really had that. We haven't been even close to average. It's either been way on one end or way on the other, but not close to average this month. 53 right now in Forest Park, 51 in Balwin. These numbers are still above average. In fact, they're closer to what you would expect for the average high in the afternoon. But we're going to change that tomorrow, and we'll actually be close to that 30-year average. Is the cooler air that's up to our north, where they're seeing some snow up in Chicago, where it's 28 degrees. That cooler air will be making it here. The snow won't. The clouds will for a while, and there might even be a spritz northeast of St. Louis overnight. But in general, it's insignificant. What we're doing is basically reinforcing the cool air that's been trying to seep in today. It hasn't had much success, but tomorrow it will. Temperatures in the 40s along and east of the Mississippi River. Back to the west, it gets a little bit warmer as we head into tomorrow afternoon, back into the 50s. If you're heading to City Park tomorrow evening, yeah, you'll definitely need a wrap. We're talking temperatures that are dropping into the lower 40s, eventually towards the end of the match into the upper 30s. That all changes Sunday. Can you believe this? Temperatures surging back into the lower 70s for highs come Sunday afternoon. This should say Sunday in St. Louis. Temperatures going up to around 70, sunshine all day long. It's even warmer on Monday into Tuesday, but there are changes as we head into Tuesday evening, Tuesday night. Cold front's going to try to come in here as we head into the evening hours Tuesday. Ahead of that, you're pulling up warm, relatively moist air for this time of year. We think temperatures will make it above 80 degrees. The question is when and where thunderstorms will flare. It looks like that might be off to the east and to the southeast of St. Louis, but it's still way too soon to get too specific on timing on that. There is that chance for showers and thunderstorms going into Tuesday, especially Tuesday evening through the overnight hours, perhaps lingering into Wednesday morning. The timing on when that front comes through and if the ingredients can come together to create some strong, possibly severe storms, that remains to be seen. So we have to watch that over the weekend. And that's what your Weather First team will be doing this weekend, tracking the potential for stronger storms. It's much cooler on Wednesday, but that doesn't last very long. We end the month once again with above average temperatures on Thursday, and we'll start the month of March next Friday with temperatures around 60 degrees and going into the 60s next weekend. A lot of sunshine on the way for us this weekend.
It'll be a nice weekend, but it's been an odd February.
It has been a very odd February.
All right, Scotty. Now let's check in with Annie Kroll and Holden Kuricki for 5 on your sideline.